Good morning, everybody. This is Imaginary Dreams for day 14 of Figuary. And as I said in the previous day, day 13, and the last sketch especially was horrific. But today is actually much better, in my opinion, and the feeling of sort of sketching felt much better. But there's always sort of something to learn, and that's why I wanted to do this sort of journal for myself to learn and sort of try to analyze the post much more after the sketch. And without further ado, let's sort of begin. So the first post we have this sort of beautiful man just standing, and it's sort of very sort of straight, sort of V and then out the other way, just the bigger shapes. Since this was 1 minute and still warming up, the waistline here is sort of definitely too small if compared sort of side by side. This waist is much higher than actual drawn, and so his shoulder here seems to be broken when it should go slightly higher, but still has the general idea of this hand going over and to the back side, but this head should be blocking the the hand actually going to the back. Same with this hand going to the back. I will need to check the recording, but you would have obviously seen the time lapse drawing. But I think I drew the arms first and then the head, and that's why the lines are there. But the poses I think should improve in the next one. Here, shoulders are a little bit too small. He's really much more muscular, and then if we take the center piece here, if it's not for this arm, he would have much wider showing on his chest here compared to the back side. But looking at the pose, there's still like a lot of developed chest. Trying to look at the shape of the frontal legs here, but this sort of other leg, it needs to come out a little bit much more, especially this angle. It's not straight down, it's going outwards a little bit more. Looking at the sort of shoulder, trying to keep it within the body as posed, and then the arm sort of comes out, arm comes down onto the side. That is kind of okay as it should be. Could emphasize sort of the bicep and then separate it out with the shoulder much more could have been good. Head angle maybe a little bit too much to the right, then sort of straight down, then head could be a little bit bigger. Let's see for the next one. Very large shoulders the first time that I saw the pose, and then this very nice sort of line of his broad shoulders coming down, and then very strong straight line from his upper waist down to the ground. So trying to sort of follow that of like also very, I think this is like sort of part of the neck of like a thicker neck, and then sort of try to follow that line of like curved and then straight down, giving a little bit shape on that butt, but then that didn't really work out and kind of looked weird in the sketch. And again, the lower leg a little bit too short and does not look as strong as I wanted to in the final sketch. Other leg come across. I think the other leg looks a little bit better of like displaying a little bit more power. I think the angle of the foot could be a little bit better. This one looks a little bit weak in comparison. And he is sort of holding the stick nice and strong. We see the hand on this side, so we just draw the hand right next to the body. And the head looks maybe a little bit too big than the original, but still I think a much better improvement to the previous ones. Next pose, very strong, again very strong straight line coming down, and then we can also look at the other sort of zigzag on the leg and arm, and maybe just let it flow and end on the other hand. Really exaggerated the muscle on his upper foot there, and then maybe didn't angle like the arms well enough. Like the lower hand here looks a little bit short, but I think it's the hand position that needs to be much lower down here, and so there's enough room for the hand to sort of be correct at a correct length. Definitely made the legs much larger in this piece in comparison. And then here, this arm is, I think, is still coming towards the camera that was taking the photo, so made it a little bit sort of smaller. Head, I think, is the biggest issue, being a little bit too small, but I think this was a fairly strong sketch in comparison. Once again, had to sort of make note of, so one side of the chest shown much more compared to the other side is much shorter and smaller. So divided, I think I divided that fairly okay. Next pose, again a very strong pose, zigzag on the front leg, following with the arm, or a very nice sort of curved on the back and down to the floor. Head again a little bit too small now that I see it, and then now the other arm is definitely sort of coming towards us, so keeping it sort of short there. But this upper arm, I think, didn't really look too good. The shapes don't really look strong compared to the photo. Once again, the chest on this side is showing much more, trying to keep it that way, but this still looks like he's showing much sort of forward than in an angle, especially like his shoulders are at this angle, and then his body twists to be much more straight down here, but could be angled a little bit better. But again, overall, I don't see too many big mistakes in comparing to the other poses. Now the last one, 5 minutes. Tried a little bit more on the head. I think I got this one right this time. Hand over the other, fingers looks atrocious. This bottom leg is definitely needs to be placed much further back if we were to put into perspective. Down here, I think I made sort of this arm a little bit too big, and then this lower part is not angled correctly and also is too small. But now we can see that this chest, compared to the previous photo at least, is showing a little bit more forward and trying to angle based on the shoulders going forward as so. And what I say, I think today was a much stronger set of sketches, especially comparing to 13. 13 was a disaster. But that will be the end of today's figure drawing journal, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye for now.